database is my test database, and now this time we are not going to. So there are two methods for creating a table. One is by using the graphical user interface. The graphical user interface is by just clicking on the main tables and adding a table. Clear? And the second method is that how to create a table by query method. So we have already one table employee, so I'm going to create a table of doctor. Clear? By writing a query. So for that, create table, the name of the table, and opening bracket. Now the attributes of the doctor table, so doctor ID, and its ID is numeric. After that, the domain, we already discussed domain, later on we will discuss that again. Then the doctor name, and its type is varchar, domain is 20. Then the suppose salary, salary range is also 9. Clear? And then the closing bracket. Clear? For checking the query, that whether your query is right, so this is the query for creating a table. Create is a reserved word. The table we are writing for creating a table, the name of the table is doctor. Now inside the brackets of that table, all the attributes should be defined with its data type. So doctor ID is the first one, its type is numeric, its data type is numeric, its domain is 9, doctor name, its data type is varchar, and its domain is 20. The salary, it is the third attribute, third column in the table, its type is numeric and domain is 9. Clear? And no comma after the last attribute, because after that we are not going to add any other attribute. So we have comma here, here, and no here, because this is the last. For checking the query, that whether your query is right or anything missing, you need to click on that button, parse. So commands completed successfully. This is just this command only just checked your query. It didn't execute the query. This tick sign is just for checking the query. Your query is right, there is no error, it is fine. For executing it, you need to press execute. Now your commands completed successfully. Refresh the table and you will see a doctor table is added here. Clear? We will edit some records in that. So doctor ID 1, doctor name is A, salary is 2000, doctor ID is 2, 1500, doctor ID is 3, now we discussed about the data integrity. Now the no integrity rule or no constraint is applied on this table. Let me show you. Because we already have one doctor having an ID of 1, 2, and 3. If suppose this is the fourth doctor and its ID is same 2 and its salary is 1500, I didn't apply any integrity rules, any constraint. So I am saving the record of fourth doctor. Suppose its name is D and its ID is 2, the same which we stored for the record number 2. So still it accept. Now again for doctor, this one I am entering the same ID. Now for this one I am entering the same ID, no problem.
Same salary also no problem.
Yes, because we didn't apply any integrity rule, any constraint. So that is the problem. So later on, if you are going to assign the doctor to any patient, so it will create a conflict that whether who is the doctor number one, who is the ID of what is. There are 3 doctors in the database A, E, and F. So which one you are going to assign to the patient? So that is create redundancy, redundant data. Clear? So for that purpose, we need to apply some integrity constraints, integrity rules. Clear? Some set of rules. And one more thing, if once you created a table, you cannot bring any changes in them. Let me show you. Now, suppose I want to add one more column, that is I'm adding one more column, mobile, its type is numeric, and now the query is right, and when you execute it, it will not be executed, because once you created the structure of a table, you cannot modify that. For modifying that, you need to delete all the table. You need to drop all the table. Clear? Now the query is right. Let me show you. The query is right, but it is not executing because it cannot modify the existing table. So for modifying the existing table, you need to create the table from the start. All the structure of that relation will be deleted. That's what we are discussing in the relational database model. Clear? So I'm leaving that as a comment. So later on I will give you the file as well. Now for deleting all the structure, I use a word drop table doctor. You can check that it's right and execute. So command is executed successfully. Refresh, and the doctor table is deleted. Clear? Now I'm making one integrity constraint for the same table, but this time on the doctor ID, on the doctor ID attribute. So writing the same create table doctor, opening bracket, the attributes are doctor ID, its type is numeric, comma, voucher, its domain is 20, salary is numeric as well, its type is domain is 10. And now here I need to write the rule. Clear? I need to write the rule. That what is the rule? So constraint, the name of the constraint. Clear? You can use any name, XYZ, Ahmad, Ali, any name, but you should need to use a proper name. Later on might be you are going to delete the constraint from that table after a year, after 4 months, after any period of time, you are going to delete some constraint. So might be your database structure is very large, you have a lot number of tables, you have lot number of queries. So if you are not using proper names, if you are using XYZ, ABC, that type of name for creating any constraints, so then you are going to face problems later on. Clear? So I am going to use a proper name. So the name of the table is doctor underscore doctor ID underscore PK, primary key. Clear? Because I'm going to, this is the name of the relation, this is the name of the rule, this is the name of the constraint I'm going to apply on my some specific attribute in the table. So I'm going to use the reserved word primary key, and inside the bracket I'm going to write the name of that attribute, which I'm going to make it as a primary key, and then in the end the closing bracket. Now we will check whether the query is right. Yes, the query is right. Now I'm going to execute the query. So refresh the table. Now a doctor table is created. Now let me edit the first rows. The doctor number 1, his salary is that. 2, salary is that, 1500. Doctor 3, salary is that. Now I'm going to enter 1 and the name is suppose any other, and the salary is also other. So now it will generate an error because there is a rule. Read it. No row was updated. The data in row 4 was not committed. Error source. What is the error message? Look at the error message. Violation of primary key constraint. The name of the constraint. Doctor ID primary key. That doctor ID attribute is primary key in the doctor table. Clear? And cannot insert duplicate key in that specific attribute. So you need to change it. You need to correct the errors, otherwise we are not allow you to enter any duplicate key. Clear? So now still I am pressing, but it is not accepting. When I change it to 4, it accepts. So that are the constraint rules. Clear? That are the integrity constraint rules.
Sir, doctor names are the same, so we have to add constraints for that also?
No, might be a specialist of some. One is the eye specialist. Suppose his name is also Ali. The second is a heart surgeon. His name is also Ali. So no problem. You can differentiate them. You can recognize them by their IDs or the other attributes as well. We will create a relationship by creating a primary and foreign key by writing the query. Clear? So the name is not a problem, but the registration key or the identifying attribute, that must be unique for everyone. Clear? Now the problem is that the table is accepting the null values. So we need to apply an integrity constraint or a constraint rule on the name attribute as well. So I'm going to drop the table again, because I told you that you cannot modify the table. You need to drop all the structure. So drop so you will see that the doctor table is deleted. Clear? Now this time, so for single line query we use the double hyphen sign, and for a query which is on more than 2 lines we use the slash and the asterisk sign. Clear? You can write the query for creating the table on same line, no problem. It will create the query, but actually it will look like that. So create table doctor, and here doctor ID numeric. So it is looking a little bit confusing. So the proper or the recommended or the professional way is to write your query more than 1 line. More than 1 line. So the second attribute is doctor name. Its type is varchar, length is 20. Now not null. Salary numeric and 10. Constraint name is doctor ID. So now your query is complete. We will check. Yes, the query is complete. Refresh the table. We will punch some entries. So doctor ID is 1, name is that, salary is that one, doctor ID is that. Now I'm entering one more record. Now this time I'm entering the same ID and a change name. So the primary key error. Okay, now this time I'm entering a new key and writing a null. Now look at here. Error message, cell does not allow a null value. Now this time a constraint is applied on the name attribute as well, the name column as well. That the first column, the doctor ID, it should be a primary key. It must be unique for everyone. Each and everyone have their own unique IDs. And if someone is trying to add a null record for the doctor name, so he is not allowed. He must need to enter a name. Clear? So that is a rule applied on doctor name. Clear? So now I need to apply a rule on, now I'm writing it D, so it accepted. So this is the integrative constraint. Now if someone wants to enter a salary, this, if someone wants to enter null into, oh wait, we need to write here the name as well. Clear? If someone wants to write this salary, so he's allowed, and it is wrong. So we need to apply a constraint rule on the salary as well. That, what is this? The salary is too much. If suppose someone punched that by mistake, so there is no rule here. So a rule must be defined for salary as well. So now again we need to perform some more changes. So here I am writing in that file for you guys as a comment. I will give you the file in the end. Okay, so dropping the table again, drop table doctor, the table is dropped. You can check it. Now all the structure is deleted. Now this time I will apply the rules on all the integrity constraint on all the 3 attributes. So creating the table, doctor, doctor ID, numeric, this is the domain.
Sir, can we do it like this? If we drop the table, then we start from that again.
So doctor ID, doctor name, not null, and salary, numeric. So doctor ID, so now we will check the query, is it fine? wait, but here it will not work. We need to write a constraint for that as well. So I'm writing one more constraint. Constraint is salary dot check, clear? And I'm writing the word, this is the name of that constraint, salary CK, check. So I'm writing a word check, and inside the bracket between 1000 and 2500 and comma here as well, clear? So now wait, so we didn't wrote the name of the column on which we are applying the check. So the name of the column is salary, clear? Now the command is fine. This is just a name of that constraint, okay? This is just like your alias. This is just a name of that constraint, of that rule. The actual attribute name is the salary, and the range is here. This is a constraint check for checking a range between or and or. And this is the name of the constraint. Constraint salary check, constraint Dr. ID PK. This is the name, and the actual constraint is that one. Clear? So now we will execute. So a doctor table is created. Wait. So a doctor table is created. Now we will pass some entries. So doctor ID is 1, name is that, and salary 2200. Doctor ID is 2, name is B. Now this time I am entering the salary 3000. So salary constraint, salary check constraint, the conflict occur in database because you entered a value which is out of the range. Now what was the range? 2500.
Between.
Now I am entering 2501. Still it will not enter. Now what was the lowest range? 1000. Now I am entering 999. Still it will not accept. So you must need to provide a fixed accurate data. Now I am providing 0.5. It round off. You know about. Now I am writing 999.2. Will it round off?
No.
Why?
Because it's not near.
Because it is not here. Even if you write a 4, it is not near. It will not round off. Clear? So for that purpose, you need to change the value from here that look at in the design. This second part, this is how many digits are allowed after the point. So if you write here 2, so it means that 999.95. If you write here 1, so 1 digit is allowed after a point. 99.9, not 95 this time. Clear? Suppose if you write its data type 9 and 1. So you have 9 digits allow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and after the point you allow only 1 digit, whatever that digit is. If you change it to 2, so after the point you are allowed 2 digits. If you change it to 3, so you are allowed 3 digits. Is it clear? Yes. So you can change it in the query or in the design mode as well, both of them. I'm creating a top table for doctor. Now I will apply a constraint on email. Clear? So doctor ID is numeric. Doctor name. I will apply all the constraint on this table, including the new one. Doctor name is varchar, and it is not null. Salary type is numeric as well. Is it recording? Yes. This type is also 9, and date of birth is type date. Now on the one more email. Email is of type varchar as well, and 20 is the range of domain. Now the first, I will apply the first constraint.
Salary.
Constraint name is salary check, and the name of the attribute salary, and the range between, suppose, $1,500 and $2,000. Clear? The second constraint is for doctor table primary key. So table is doctor, the attribute on which I am applying is doctor ID, and primary key. Yes. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So check the query. The query is running fine. Now execute. So a doctor table is created. So doctor ID is 1, name is that, salary is 1000, date of birth is, and email is, suppose, a@. What was the range?
So it was 50,000, 1,500.
Okay, 1500. Yes. So now on the doctor ID, a constraint is applied. If I try to enter 1, so you look at there, it's not allowed. Clear? So 2. If you want to save null here, it is also not allowed. If you want to exceed the range of the salary, it is also not allowed. On the date of birth, we haven't applied any constraint. So suppose 7/10/1983, and on the email @. So the name is null. That is the constraint for null name. Okay. So B. Now this time it will save the record. Change the range of salary as well, 1600. So all the 3 constraints are fine. Doctor ID, doctor name, and salary. But the email is same. It is not possible that 2 doctors, 2 different doctors, they have the same email address. So we need to apply a constraint on email column, email attribute as well. Clear? So for that, we need to drop this table and to create the table again. I will copy the same code for the table. Let me check whether it is deleted or not. Yes, it is deleted. So I am copying the same table code for creating the table, and this time I will apply one more constraint on email. So this time that one more constraint will be for email. So constraint name is email underscore and also put a comma here. Now let me check that whether this code is fine. Yes, this code is fine. Now again I will create a table, refresh it, then I will explain that constraint to you. Now let me punch some entries.
So after putting entry, is it possible to put another constant on the table?
So Dr. ID is 1, name is A, salary is 1900, date of birth is 1/1/1987, and email is suppose a@yahoo.com. Now one record is saved. 2 B 1800, date of birth is 1/10/1986. Now I'm trying to enter the same email. So a@yahoo.com. No. Violation of unique key constraint. Email unique key. Unique email UQ is for unique. That is just a name. You can put that your own name as well, but you need to change the email address, because it is not possible that there are two different doctors, two different employees in the organization, and they both have same official email address. That is not possible. Each and every one of you have your own cell phone, your own email address. So the two different doctors, it is not possible that they two or more than two doctors they are having the same email address. So if now I'm trying to enter the same email address for that guy, but it is not accepting. So now I'm changing it to B. Now the record is saved. Clear? So now this time we applied the constraint on ID, doctor name, salary, and email. Clear? Now look at the query. Constraint email, this is the name of that constraint, and this is the word unique. Make the email attribute unique. Clear?
Yes.
They must not be matching with any of the record in the database. They must be, if there are 10,000, 5,000, whatever the amount, the quantity of the records is, they all must be unique from each other. Is it clear? Now, okay, look at here. These are the rules for foreign key. We discussed about the primary key. We discussed about the unique integrity constraint. We discussed about the check constraint, and now we will discuss about the foreign key. Clear? And we discuss also about the not null. 4. So this is the 5th one. So these are the guidelines for foreign key. First of all, there must be a primary key on parent table, on parent relation. The second is there must be one same column in both. When we will write the query, you will got the point what I'm asking. So the third one is the data type must be same on both of the relation. So now let me show you what's the problem is. So I am creating a table of doctor, doctor ID, numeric 9, doctor name, and not null. Now the salary, numeric, so first of all, there must be primary key on parent table. Clear? Yes, for doctor ID. So doctor is the parent table. Yeah, we already have a table. We didn't delete the table. So created the table patient, patient ID, doctor ID, and the patient name if you want to. Its type is voucher and 20. Now this is the patient table. So two tables are created. So refresh, and now in the doctor table I am adding some record. This is of the previous, deleted, and so in the doctor table 1A salary is that, 2B salary is 1500, 3C salary is 2000. So we have three doctor IDs. Now in the employee,
Patient.
yes, in the patient table, now patient ID is 1, doctor ID is 1. We have doctor ID 1. Patient name is suppose ABC. Now patient ID is 2, doctor ID is 2, and patient name is that. Now patient ID is 3. We have only 3 doctor records there. We have only 3 doctor records, but here I am entering 22. We'll accept. There is no record. 4. It accept. So this is wrong. We need to create a foreign key. We need to create a foreign key, and for the foreign key there were 3 rules. I mentioned those above. Clear? There were 3 rules. I mentioned those above. Now we will create a foreign key. So first of all I will drop these 2 tables and making them as a comment. And the second is also drop the table patient. So the patient table is also dropped. Now refresh. Now what was the rules? Look at above. What were the guidelines? There must be primary key on the parent table. So yes, so we create a primary key on the parent table. That was the first rule. The doctor ID is the primary key on the parent table. So this is our parent table. There must be one on same column in both. It means that doctor ID, look at the doctor ID, its type is numeric and 9, and look at the doctor ID here. It's no doctor ID. We are going to connect these 2 IDs, it will be clear to you. So doctor ID numeric here same, and doctor ID numeric here the same domain, 9. Clear? So that was the second rule, and data type must be the same. Clear? Now one more thing we need to write in, creating a doctor table, making it as a comment. So doctor table is created, that is fine, it is following all the rules. Now making the doctor table as comment, and now this time I will bring some changes in the patient table. Clear? So now patient, first of all the constraint patient table, primary key, now constraint doctor ID. Yes, it's recording. Doctor ID and foreign key this time. Foreign key. What will be the foreign key? The foreign key will be the doctor ID and references. I use the word references. So I use the word references, doctor table and doctor ID. Clear? Now we will check the table. So this is the, so there is no problem in the query. Executing the query, refresh the table. Now first of all I am entering some record in the doctor table. So doctor ID is 1, name is that, salary is that, 2, name is that, 3. So we have only 3 records in the doctor table, and now I'm checking it with the patient table. Wait. So the patient ID is 1. We have only 3 doctor IDs. 1, patient name is that, no problem. Patient ID is 2, doctor ID is 3. We have the third doctor ID as well, XYZ, no problem. Patient ID is 3 and doctor ID is 2 and that. Now patient ID is 4 and I am entering here 34. You violated the rule because there are only 3 IDs in the doctor table. So you must need to assign a valid record which exists. You are entering a record which actually didn't exist in the real world. Clear? So look at there. Read the error message. The insert statement conflicted with the foreign key constraint. Doctor ID for FK, that is the name of the relationship. The conflict occur in the database because it is not matching with the column doctor ID in the doctor table. Clear? Yes. So these were the 5 attributes we discussed today. The 5 integrity constraints which we apply on the 5 different